All right. Hello again, adventurers, and welcome to another exciting episode of Mastering Astral Projection, your map to running RPGs online. So, today we are going to be talking about Ambiance. We have spoken quite a few times in this series about the idea that we need to help people to be able to focus here on the world in here that you guys are creating instead of the world out here that they're actually living in. And when you're in a when you're at a physical table with everyone physically there, it's actually remarkably easy to get that to happen. The focus that each person places is in there will actually reinforce everyone else's just from close proximity, and you actually have significantly more control over the environment itself. You can dim the lights. You can actually control how the area smells using candles or incense, the things like that. If you really want to get crazy, you can even control the temperature if you don't mind dealing with higher or lower electric bills, depending on how warm or cold it is outside and how different you want your environment to be. But making it very visceral to be there significantly easier in person. However, that doesn't mean it's not important in running a game online. It's actually more important, and you have more limited the things you can do that you can control. So taking advantage of them every single time instead of just every so often when it kind of when you feel inspired is really important. And music and ambiance is really effective in keeping everyone focused. Now, again, I've been running games online for like 7 years. My first game I ran online, I did through a Google Plus Hangout to just show you how long ago it was. Excuse me for just a second. I need a drink. Much better. So, I actually did not start using ambiance or anything like that for years after I had started running games and actually streaming games. You actually used to be able to do this thing called uh, I can't remember what it was called, but you basically built into the Google Plus Hangouts was a way to just start streaming directly to YouTube. I used to stream directly to YouTube using Google Plus Hangouts. And I didn't use a virtual tabletop or anything like that. But it was actually watching Matt Mercer run Critical Role as it got going, because Mercer would use, I believe he uses what's called Sirenscape. If anyone else knows that he uses something different, just put it in the comments below. But Sirenscape is kind of an ambiance program. It's specifically designed to allow you to play music and things like that while you are playing. And I believe it was actually designed for in person. You'd like load it onto the tablet and then attach like a Bluetooth speaker or something to the tablet, and then you would have touchscreen interfaces to change the music, and you could create these different playlists and things like that. You could even add sound effects. So like if someone cast a fireball, you could push the fireball button. You guys would hear it happen. All that stuff is available in various forms in a lot of the virtual tabletops. And all of that will really, really help your group to invest themselves uh, in the game a lot more. Again, your goal is going to be they have all these different distractions because every single person is in their own place. And has their own kind of presence where the entirety of the game is limited to a screen and maybe a set of headphones. And that's it. That's the only place the game exists, whereas the rest of their life exists everywhere else around them. So getting them to kind of forget about this and focus in on a little screen and some headphones takes a little bit of work, but it's definitely doable. So me personally, right now, and I'll go into more details about like my setups and everything like that, and alternate setups I've used when I do the actual tech stuff of a video. But suffice it to say, right now, all of my games are run through Roll to 20 is my virtual tabletop. I use Zoom for video chat. Those are the things that have worked but best for me. They're not the things I have always used. I have tried a lot of different things. These are the things that just have the best results for me. Now, something I like about Roll to 20 as a virtual tabletop is in every single game they have a tab you can use called the jukebox, which is literally a place where you can do everything from you can upload your own music if you have specific music that you want to use to set a very specific tone. Or if you buy Ambiance to tracks, there are a lot that exist out there. Some of them are specifically made for use in running to tabletop RPGs because, remarkably enough, playing music when you're running a game is not a new thing. People were doing it all the way back when they were using cassettes in boom boxes. So it's not a new thing, and there has been a market for it for decades. So if you look around, you can find Ambiance to tracks specifically designed for Dungeons and Dragons or RPGs in general that you can purchase. You can find some that are either Creative Commons or royalty free. So yeah, there's a lot of different things, and one of the things you can do with the jukebox is upload your own audio. In addition to that, they have 3 other tabs in the manage audio thing. They have the tabletop audio, battle bards, and then in-com tech. Tabletop audio is all ambiance stuff. They have a few things that are more like music, but the rest of it is things like Abandoned Windmill. Age of Sail is one that I've used fairly often when my players are on a ship. It's literally just the sound. Well, see, it might be a little bit loud, so forgive this if it's super loud. Not horrible. Let me see what levels look like. And my mic is barely picking it up. That's a little bit better. All right, that's enough of that. It's a nice thing about this mic is it's a directional microphone, and my speakers are over here. So the sound coming from over here doesn't get picked up by the mic, which is great. So yeah, you have that kind of ambient stuff, which again is really, really important and can definitely set the mood. By just having something like that rolling, playing on repeat, it helps people to kind of focus in on the game and really feel like they are wherever they are. Battle bards is sound effects, and I am not going to play them because they are super loud. and I can't use volume control until I actually add them to my game, and I don't want it to do that. But it's things like Acid Blast or Arrow Trap, things like that. So where instead of going and trying to do your best like Michael Winslow impression, you can actually play the sound of an arrow trap going off or something. Again, all of these things are really, really great ways to get the party invested, especially if when you're using sound effects specifically, you don't actually narrate them before you do it. Like a lot of times, if you're running through a dungeon and the players, let's say they step on a pressure plate that sets off an arrow trap. Normally, you would do something like as you're walking, you step down and you feel the ground beneath you shifts slightly. You hear a slight clicking sound. And then you hear a rush of air as 3 arrows shoot out from the wall. Roll a dex save. If instead of that, you simply hit the play button on your arrow trap sound effect, they're going to be going through. Like you could even just continue speaking, and then it's like, so as you're walking through the dungeon, click, and you don't even acknowledge it until the sound plays. That can really startle the players, and again, give them another reason to really be invested, because now instead of them, because this happens a lot in retail stores, and I used to get really weird looks from my friends. Because due to my affinity for music, anytime music is playing, I can't block it out. I'm constantly listening to it. However, most people that go shopping won't even realize that music's playing. Like they'll know it's playing, but it won't register in their brains. So I would go to people all the time. It's like, oh, I love this song, or this is something like that, or oh, I hate this song. And they go, what? I said, the song is playing on the loudspeakers. And they go, oh, yeah, you know what? I wasn't even listening. So the ambience can be a nice way to kind of block out a little the white noise of the regular life. But if you use things like traps and stuff like that are entirely audio cues, it does kind of train their ear to keep listening to the ambience that you're putting out, because eventually they may hear a trap springing or something like that, and that's going to directly affect them. And all of this stuff will kind of combine itself into a very immersive experience. The last thing they have in Roll to 20 is Incomtech. Incomtech is a company that was created by Kevin MacLeod, I think his name is. I feel really bad that I can't remember. MacLeod, yeah. Made by a gentleman named Kevin MacLeod. Kevin MacLeod is a composer that believes very, very fervently in the Creative Commons copyright license. Creative Commons is a copyright license that you can license your work under for free. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to sign up for anything. You literally just have to put a notice of this work is copyrighted under Creative Commons. And then there's a bunch of different flavors of Creative Commons out there. There can be Creative Commons with no stipulations, meaning you can use it for anything. You can use it in commercial products, projects, personal stuff. And then they have other things, like they have non-commercial, meaning you can use this for free as long as you don't use it to make money. Or attribution is the most common. That's the one that Kevin MacLeod uses, which is basically all of his are done under Creative Commons. I think it's the 3.0 license, and it's attribution only, meaning you can use his stuff for literally anything. If a big, advertising firm wanted to use one of his songs in a Christmas commercial they were running, they would be completely in their rights to do so. They would owe no royalties to him. The only thing they would be required by law to do is somewhere in the commercial, they would have to say the song, and they'd have to name this as a song. And they'd have to say licensed under Creative Commons 3.0 attribution by Kevin MacLeod. And then they could use it. So the reason I talk about Income Tech is there is a really, really kind of I don't know, like I guess a comforting aspect to having a song or two for specific encounters. And I think for me, it kind of comes from watching movies and specifically playing RPGs, video game RPGs. Because in every video game RPG, you have a battle theme. You will have an overworld theme or a traveling theme. Generally, you'll have a lot of different themes for that. And then every so often, you will have a boss theme. I like in my games to have at least two themes for the game, which are songs. They're generally Kevin MacLeod songs, though I have found quite a few public domain songs that I will use every so often as well, simply because as much as I love Kevin MacLeod, the attribution aspect of it can get a little bit tiresome if I'm using a lot of his music, because I have to list the title of every single song I use somewhere so everyone can see it. If you ever to check out my Twitch channel, if you scroll down, I actually have an entire tile that all it is music from, and it lists every single song I have in my getting ready playlist or my starting soon playlist, because they're all Kevin MacLeod songs, and it's this massive list, and then it has attributed under Creative Commons 3.0 blah 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 blah. But I like to have two specific songs for all of my campaigns. I will have my recap song, which kind of goes back to the first episode where you have that countdown. Part of my countdown in all my games is I will do a recap at the beginning of the actual session itself when we're actually playing. So after we do all the chit chat and everything, I will go, now we return to traversing the Veil, or realms of the wild. And then I will turn on the recap music, which is the theme that I connect specifically with this group. It's kind of the theme song of the campaign. And I do the recap. And during that entire recap, that's the only music that's playing, is that's a song. In Traversing the Veil, I've actually learned to time it so that the recap takes exactly the length of this is a song, and so the swells and shrinking of the music and everything like that coincide with plot points and the things like that, because it's very effective, and we've kind of been trained that way. If you have people that play video game RPGs, they will instantly recognize the idea of a battle music, which is the other thing. I have the theme song, and then I have battle music. Whenever they get into combat, I will say, how about we roll for initiative, and I hit the play button, and they instantly know, oh, we're in a fight. and I generally would pick something with a bit of a driving beat, just to give them this feeling of, oh, it's combat, I'm ready, I want to fight. If you play RPGs, listen to the combat music. In any RPG, it's always got a driving beat. A lot of it has kind of a rock feel to it. It's just supposed to get you excited about the fight. Using specific songs that are selected for specific things, like combat music, like intro music. I even sometimes will have specific boss themes for specific bosses, just to kind of reinforce the fact that this isn't normal combat. You guys have gotten used to having combat music. Well, this is not your normal combat. It's a little bit different. You have a boss to just kind of heighten the stakes. All these things are really an effective way to tap into things we've already kind of been trained to do, whether it's from playing RPGs where they have those specific themes that players just get used to, or even in movies. Movies will have battle themes. They may be different for each fight scene, but in general, they do like to reuse themes and things like that because it reinforces feelings into the things like that in the audience. It's kind of a emotional shorthand. Using repeating themes and things like that can be used to inform people of certain things without having to explicitly state it. Things like in Star Wars, Leia, each of the characters has their own theme, and one of the most recognizable is Leia's theme, because it's this beautiful flowing. It's played on a French horn a lot. It's this da 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 da. And it's this really beautiful song. If you watch the original trilogy, Leia's theme shows up constantly. Anytime Leia is referenced, anytime they want you to feel a certain way, to care about Leia, they will play that theme. And it's this emotional shorthand. In episode 3, spoiler alert, when Leia is born, in the final scene where you see her getting adopted, they play Leia's theme to kind of introduce you and use that emotional shorthand they developed in the first 3, where every time you saw Leia and you heard this the theme, you were supposed to care about her and you were supposed to want the best for her, and so they would play this the theme. The same thing can be done in your games. Now, setting up music and ambiance is a lot of work. Mostly because you have to, first of all, you have to have a place where you can find music that you can use. If you're playing home games, doesn't matter what you use. It really doesn't, because it's for personal use. You are never going to get attacked by anybody for using it. If you stream your games, you run into issues with DMCA. It's one of the reasons I like the stuff on Roll20, because all of it is either Creative Commons for the income tax stuff, or copyright free. So you can use it without getting DMs copyright or royalty for free. Some of them are not copyright free, but they are royalty free. But you can use it without having to worry about anything. Again, if you're doing a home game and you're not just streaming it, don't even worry about it. But you do have to find a place to find the music. And like I said, there's lots of places to find it. YouTube has their own list of copyright free and royalty free music you can download from them. Like I said, I know Roll20 has their own library of music. I don't know about Fantasy Grounds or any other tabletop virtual tabletop because I just haven't used them. But those are great places to start. But you do have to kind of sit down and go, okay, what kind of ambience do I want to set here? And you've got to listen and set up things. The thing I like about Roll20 is you can create playlists, which are effectively little folders you can organize the music into. To make it easier to kind of peruse when you're doing things live. So if you are using the BattleBard's sound effects, you can have a sound effect list, and you can separate that even more into kind of sub lists where these are my trap sounds, these are my spell sounds, things like that, to make running it as easily as possible. If you're doing something through Sirenscape or something where they actually have an app you can use, it's actually set up to do that. The one thing you need to make sure you focus on is you have to have a way for your players to hear the music. Roll20 is nice because the players will actually hear it. As long as they're logged into the game, they will hear all the music through whatever their sound devices. So it makes it really, really easy. You can just upload all your music to Roll20 and it will take care of that. If you don't have access to that or you don't want to use that, you can get a program called Voice Meter. And there are a lot of other mixer programs you can use as well. Voice Meter is just a free one. And effectively what it does is you can designate your microphone, which the chat program you're using will recognize your microphone. Instead of your actual mic, you can set it as Voice Meter. And then you can have your mic go through Voice Meter, plus your sound that you're hearing can go through Voice Meter as well. And therefore, it will actually broadcast the music that you're playing to your players on the same input that it's transmitting your mic sounds. In order to make it so that the players aren't also hearing their own voices, you do have to get a little bit more complicated than that. But I will actually go over the specific setups and things like that when I do the tech stuff. Suffice it to say, what I do specifically is Zoom. I have specifically going to my headphones. And then any music I'm playing, I actually on my microphone here, I actually have a monitor port where I can plug in a set of headphones, and I can set up my computer sounds to actually go to the monitor itself instead of my headphones, and then I set it up so my mic goes directly into OBS, and then I have OBS also pick up my Zoom call as a different set of audio, and the background music is a different set of audio, so I can actually control all three systems separately. It's a lot more complicated than it needs to be, but that's how I do it. Like I said, when I do the tech stuff video, I will go into a lot more details. Recap. Music and ambiance is extremely important when you're running online to help get people invested in the game. Music and ambience is super useful at a physical table as well, but it's almost required for an online table to get that feeling of immersion. Ambiance, background sounds and things like that should be playing most of the time, to the point where if you turn off the ambiance, that should mean something to the players, and you can use the lack of sound as just as much a way to invest the players as the sound itself. Music can be a really, really useful tool for emotional shorthand. I use an introduction or a recap as a song, and then a combat as a song, so that every time we start combat, I can just click on the battle music, and they will know, oh, it's time for us to roll for initiative, and they can be invested in it. And anytime I start the recap, I can play the recap music, and they know, okay, now it's time for us to focus and remember where we are. The most difficult part about using music in an online RPG is getting it so that your players can hear it without hearing themselves spoken back to them. The easiest way to do that is to use a virtual tabletop like Roll20, but you can also do things like Voice Meter, which allows you to control what you are transmitting out as your mic output. Yeah, I hope you guys found this interesting. If you did, please hit the like button. It lets me know that you're enjoying this. It lets YouTube know that you're enjoying this. And if enough people tell YouTube that they're enjoying it, YouTube might let other people see it and enjoy it as well. In addition to that, push the subscribe button. I am putting out a metric crap ton of content right now. I am doing Mastering Astral Projection. I'm doing on Tuesdays and Thursdays. On Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm doing the D&D Deep Dive. And every day of the month of December, I am doing the Daily December. Most weekdays I have 2 videos every day. Weekends I have 1 video a day, and that's in addition to running games on Wednesday nights and every other Saturday. So yes, hit the subscribe button to make sure all the videos get sent directly to your inbox, and hit the notification bell if you want to make sure you don't miss any, because every so often my Daily Decembers come out at weird times because I'm awake at weird times. In the comments below, what is your favorite bit of ambiance or music that has been used in a game? And it doesn't have to be a tabletop RPG. It could be a video game. It could be whatever. Could be a board game that you played once that you just had a song playing at this at the same time, and you just now intrinsically connect that. But let me know in the comments down below, what is that one song that as soon as it plays, you know what's going to happen next. Anyway, again, that is all for me today, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye!